So we are flying home from Oshkosh 2017. Had a great time up there. I gotta learn to talk more in these videos, and so I thought, here goes. Coming up on this video is a flight with Ron, who has a gyro. Do you know what kind of gyro that was? Avalon or something?
Something like that. It's really cool looking. Looks like a spaceship.
Yeah, we call it the Egg. It sits next to our plane in the hangar. And he was very generous to take me up for a ride. You'll see how that works out. But I wanted to also thank BJ, the manager at the airport at Bloomsburg. She is awesome. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have the attention that the airport so much needed. And the town of Bloomsburg to help support her in her endeavors at the airport. Because you never know, you got people flying in, doing business, buying fuel. Town now makes money off the fuel, which is really good. And anyway, watch for our video from Oshkosh, and that's going to be coming out in maybe a week or so till I edit it down.
And Toledo approach.
The arrival into Oshkosh is always interesting because they really they have waivers, so you can fly within a mile and a half, or half a mile of other airplanes, and it's literally a parade of airplanes coming in there all day long, and that was fun. But anyway, we're on our way home. We're over Indiana, very flat out here, heartland of America. Flying home. So check that out. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button and hit subscribe. And hit the little bell next with subscribe so you get a notification too.
We do accept donations. Food is always appreciated.
Yeah.
BJ sent us with some muffins up to Oshkosh in case we got stuck anywhere, and they came in handy because we had a stop in Erie, and maybe you'll see that on the video. And we did fly over Lake Michigan today past Chicago, but a little too hazy to see Chicago. Maybe a little nerve-wracking for us, but worked out fine.
So get ready for that video, probably a week or so, and enjoy this one, flying with Ron in the gyro. Ciao.
Says you cannot overstress the rotor system. I said, oh, no, if you pull apart on an airplane, the wings are coming off, depending on what and where and how. They said not in this instance. And the reasoning they have behind it, as Germany are saying. Once this is in the air,
Bloomsburg traffic, destination 819 Charlie Fox, left crosswind 27, Bloom.
guys like anything else, except not
traffic,
as much deflection on the controls to get it to do what you want it to do.
27 to beam the numbers, Bloomsburg traffic.
Most of the fire guys left. That poor little guy, he wants to fly.
Bloomsburg traffic, Mooney 05 Hotel, left base 27, Bloomsburg traffic.
It's a little bit cold-blooded. Takes a while to warm up. Second mag, it's a kind of a nature of the beast. Second mag is always a little rougher than the first one. Once you run it hard for the day, like if you were just to stop and come around here again, do another one, they'd almost seem even. But until you clean it up good for the day, the second one is always just a little rougher than the first one. It's every engine, even the trainers we flew down there, the same way. Okay. Set? Yep. Okay, once I turn this to flight, I dare not let go of this stick at all. And I'm going to need all of that and all of that. Once I get off the ground, then we're good.
Got it.
Okay. Bloomsburg traffic, Gyro 914, Romeo Bravo, departing 27 Bloomsburg. Okay, we're on flight. need to, like say you're in Williamsport and they need you out of the way, you can start pre-rotating that rotor as you come out. It doesn't matter. Just got to watch how much wind you're in if it catches you from the side. If you don't hold on to this stick real good, it will actually thrash because of the blades, the retreating and the advancing blade. They said it'll thrash hard enough to break your wrist. Wow. So like if you land in a pretty stiff wind, you want to have a hold of it real good. Okay, when that top right hand dial reaches the yellow line, we go. It's going to come up and balance on the mains. It might bob a little bit. Try and keep it off the front wheel once it comes up. There we go. You can tell I'm heavier. There's a lot of resistance too, so the trim's kind of a nice thing to have. Turbocharger on this thing is not like on a car. It's not an on-demand. There's a detent in the throttle, and that was it right there. When you push it ahead, you'll feel resistance on the throttle. Right after that resistance, there's an electronic switch that'll dump the wastegate, and it's either 100% turbo or none. Closer traffic, 914 Romeo Bravo, turning left crosswind for 27. Most unnerving thing for any of these guys that have been in a helicopter is you get slow. They want to be grabbing the dash and wondering what's going to happen next.
Helps that I fly simulator on a computer. Like I dabbled in the helicopters on there, and I was in the military, so I flew in helicopters. So I don't panic. It's a little unnerving, but I understand ahead of time, which is helpful.
And it's not fast, but boy, what a view.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a couple hundred feet above the trees, and if you want to turn around because you saw something back there, you just turn around. If you slow this thing down to about 20 to 30, you can just stand on the rudder and spin it around right where it sits. It's a typical helicopter approach, though. It's much steeper than an airplane. Bloomsburg traffic, Gyro 914 Romeo Bravo, turning left downwind to left base, 27 Bloomsburg. Typical approach is 62. The nice thing is that if you get too close to a runway or you had an engine out and you needed to shorten it up, you can drop it clear to 0 airspeed if you have to. Won't stall, won't spin. Closer traffic, Romeo Bravo, final for 27 Bloomsburg. The rotor RPM really doesn't vary much. We really wanted the end of 27 because it was a shorter runway. We just slow it up to nothing and let it sink. Don't really matter. Past 150, 200 feet, you need 60 miles an hour. 50 will do it. As heavy as we are, you should have 60. There it's a same as an airplane, kind of a flare, and right before it touches down. Get it slow enough. There again, the weight.
That's pretty wild.
It's different. If you decided right here you didn't want to take off, you could still reach. You could still stop before the end of the runway. The rotor just never usually changes. It's just kind of there. You know, once you're up flying, if you stress it a little, it'll speed up. If you get in a little bumpy air, you'll see it waver a little bit, but it's pretty consistent. If you got to slide sideways to get in somewhere, it's not a big deal. A buddy of mine built that house right there in the woods. At night when it calms down, it's just wild. We go out and fly around the fields. The only thing that's a real hazard for this thing is you got to watch, not for power lines, you got to watch for poles.
Yeah.
You'll never see the power line. See the pole, but the power line, or see the pole, but the power line will be disguised.
There's a whole bunch of turkeys in that field as soon as we got over the tree line.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's deer running. Oh, we're too close. It's turkey.
Yeah, you're used to seeing them from another 1,000 feet up.
Yeah.
We can get in. We came back from New York the other week, and we're going up this little valley, and I wanted to gain a little altitude, get over the ridge, and I just had it slowed down, slowed down, slowed down. You could just feel the thermal lifting it. I don't know if I could have went down if I'd have just stopped. It was lifting us that hard. Okay, I'm trimmed out pretty decent. You can reach pedals from there, can't you?
Yep.
Pedals are the same as an airplane. Push the talk buttons up there, just don't get up high. I find if I put my hand here and kind of rest it on my knee, that's all you need to control it, basically. And this is four-way trim if you don't like how it's... And don't take much one way or the other, and it'll roll.
Do you have to coordinate it?
Not as much as an airplane. It doesn't really care that much about coordination. Up and down, forward, a little bit more, but coordinated turns not a... The only thing that you can't do is shove this thing at the dash. That'll get you in trouble. That rotor's still flying at about that much of an angle, even when we're up here.
Yeah.
You get it this way,
Bad.
air's coming down through it. You see that rotor down here on the front of the nose, that won't be good. You can shove it all the way to the dash, like when I come back to the runway there. You can push it as long as you count to about 5 as you're pushing it forward, and you'll be in a steep enough dive. Then you won't want to push it any further forward. Once you're up flying, anybody can fly it. But I'll tell you what, I had 30 hours in the trainer, 35 in a helicopter, solo time in a Bell, 350 in an airplane. And none of that prepared me to fly this, none of it. I mean, it prepared me for being in the air and the normal gauges and that kind of stuff, but outside of that, it just don't act the same. You get a gyroscopic effect when you land, so that even if it tries to tip up on one wheel, you got to resist the urge to follow it, because it's once you do that, it's going right on over. Just a little bit, you're getting a little fast.
Yeah, I was trying to maintain altitude.
And just
without
like
climbing.
Well, you can have the throttle if you want it. Throttle, it's the same way. Same way. Throttle is up and down basically. You'll change it with the stick somewhat, But if you're still climbing, it's too much throttle. You got too much forward speed, and the rotor's forcing you to climb.
I'm on the edge here. It could be a thermal today.
Yeah, a little bit.